In Colorado in 2020, an estimated 9,846 people were homeless on any given day. Homelessness is plaguing Colorado, and it continues to get worse. What can you do about homelessness? Vote! But make sure before you get that ballot in the mail, you realize just exactly what you are voting for. Proposition 123 can be a complicated thing, but hopefully this video will prepare you to take on that ballot.
Although wording can be daunting, Proposition 123 is not as complicated as it seems. Proposition 123 proposes amending the Colorado statutes to set aside a portion of annual state income tax revenue for affordable housing programs, exempt that money from the state's revenue limit, thereby reducing the amount of money collected above the limit that is returned to the taxpayers, and establish an eligible use for this money. So what does that mean exactly? It means that the state will now set aside some of its taxed money that would usually be returned to you, the taxpayer, in order to create more affordable housing in the state. At this point, you might be wondering, what exactly is affordable housing? Well, this measure defines affordable housing based on two factors: household income and housing costs. Affordable housing means housing for renters making up to 60% of the area median income, or homeowners making up to 100% of the area median income. For a housing project to qualify as affordable housing, housing costs must not be more than 30% of the household's income. This chart shows the median income for several locations in Colorado. Remember, affordable housing numbers are based off of the area's median income as determined by the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development. For example, let's use La Plata County. In La Plata County, the median income according to the 2020 census was $69,291. 60% of the median income would be $41,575. Affordable housing for a renter couldn't cost more than 30% of $41,575. Affordable housing for a homeowner couldn't cost more than 30% of $69,291. Moving right along, you may be concerned about how Prop 123 will affect the taxpayer's Bill of Rights, or more commonly known as TABOR. The tax revenue that is set aside by Prop 123 is not subject to the TABOR limit. As of now, any revenue collected over the limit must be returned to taxpayers unless voters approve a measure allowing the government to keep it. With this proposition, in years when the state revenue exceeds the TABOR limit, this measure reduces the money that will be returned to taxpayers. In years when the state revenue is below the TABOR limit, this measure does not affect refunds, but may reduce the amount of money available for the rest of the state budget.
What does affordable housing look like now in Colorado? Safe and affordable housing is an essential need for anyone. Prices in Colorado in 2020 were 51% affordable for households making their county's median income. Compared to that same county being 76% in 2015, there's a noticeable decrease in the amount of people who can afford to live in the state. Currently, to combat the housing crisis, Colorado has a Department of Local Affairs, DOLA, that acts as a middleman between state and local government to offer grants and loans to housing authorities, developers, and local programs. That means that currently, even though Colorado has a department in place to encourage monetarily the building of affordable housing, there are no set laws or limits to this. That means that builders can prolong the creation of affordable housing, and that local governments don't really have any drive to create affordable housing. But what does affordable housing look like with Prop 123? Looking at the current state of housing programs in Colorado, there needs to be more oversight and investment in the programs from the state government. With Prop 123, the cost of participating projects, housing projects and apartments, cannot exceed 30% of an area's median income determined by the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development. With the passing of Prop 123, there will be an estimated $290 million gathered in the fiscal year of 2022 and 2023. Along with this increase in money being spent, there will be time restrictions to force authorities and developers to produce affordable housing in a timely manner. Another big part of Prop 123 is that it creates an investment in renters through money made from the development and helps them in purchasing a home or making a down payment.
Now we're going to compare what a yes or no vote actually means on the ballot. A yes vote on Proposition 123 agrees to set aside money for new affordable housing programs and exempts this money from the state's revenue limit. A no vote on Proposition 123 means that the state revenue will continue to be spent on priorities as determined by the state legislature or returned to taxpayers, as under current law.
There are many people who are currently in favor of this proposal. These people argue that an increased interest in housing will help the statewide housing crisis. This measure takes on the housing crisis without increasing taxes, which is a huge bonus for you, the taxpayer. This proposition also gives local communities the flexibility to respond to their specific needs. On the other hand, there are also many people against this proposition. They argue that because it is not required, local governments will not participate and some will not benefit from the investments. Additionally, they argue that this proposition does not address the underlying cause of high housing costs and that Tabor refunds will slowly decrease.
No matter what you do, just vote. Your vote matters, and participating in democracy is incredibly important. Don't let someone else dictate what you care about, so make your voice heard by casting your ballot on November 8th. Remember, kids, it doesn't matter what side you are on if you don't vote.